Hi, I'm Samantha and I'm an event manager at Redstone Agency. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about how we can ensure that all of our attendees are more than comfortable with our return to in-person events. I'm going to talk you through 4 tips on how we can ensure that we get this accomplished. Tip number 1, we should try to ensure that we can stagger registration and check-in. We want to do this because if you recall to our in-person events pre-pandemic, there were typically lineups at registration when people were checking in, getting their badges, and receiving their gift packages. We want to ensure that we are able to practice safe social distancing, and the way that we can do this is to stagger the check-in. My recommendation would be to do so by using subgroups within your organization to slot in times for them to enter. Another way to do it would be to do alphabetical lists and make sure that half the alphabet comes at a certain time and the other half comes later. Tip number 2, we want to make sure that we are including accommodations to food and beverage. There are a couple ways that we can do this to ensure that we are practicing safe social distancing and limiting the surface contact. One way that we can do this is by having pre-packaged to-go boxes. This eliminates the amount of time that people are standing at the table, as well as makes sure that people are not touching other people's foods and they can head off and walk away and enjoy their meal. Another way to do this is to have served buffet. The way that we accomplish this is by having a plexiglass shield between the food and the attendees and having a service staff serve the meal. People seem to really like this because they're still able to pick what they want, but they don't have to touch anything. Tip number 3, we always have to keep in mind that we want to keep social distancing at its best. When we're having meals, we need to ensure that we are 6 feet apart between tables and that we only have a certain number of people at each table. The same thing goes for when we're in session. Every venue has their own number, and we need to make sure that we are abiding by them. Something that this may impact is the size of the room that you will need. Typically in the past, we were able to pack many tables together, and this is not something we can do anymore. So there are certainly things to consider when making these accommodations. Tip 4, implementing pre-event COVID testing. Even though in Ontario it is required by all venues to provide proof of vaccination upon entry, we want to go the extra mile to make sure that everyone is more than comfortable being in person. There are 2 ways to do this. 1, at-home testing kits. We can send our attendees testing kits in which they can test themselves the morning of the event and provide us with the results upon registration. Way number 2 is that we're able to bring in on-site testing teams that are able to provide rapid antigen tests on-site, and once the negative results have been provided, they can enter and enjoy their time at the conference. Here at Redstone, we're so excited to see how everyone implements these tips to make it the best possible 2022 that we can.